Hello, hello. Welcome to Workshop 19. How to welcome everyday sales so you are getting paid when you are working and when you are not. I've designed this workshop because I think it is a perfect structure for any time of the year. But as you can see, I am recording this probably on one of the hottest days of the year. So if you're somebody whose schedule has been slightly disrupted at the moment with the heat, if you want to take time off, if you are doing a juggle of school holidays, this is going to be perfect for you. If we are meeting for the first time, here is my very brief overview. I am so delighted that you are here. I've helped hundreds of clients over the last 15 years to activate and illuminate their personal brand. And I am really passionate about this topic of money. I think it's so important. I think it's right up there in terms of health and exercise and eating well and drinking lots of water. It's not a nice to have. So I really want you to think about it and prioritize it. So let me talk about everyday sales. Firstly, I need you to know from myself and from the hundreds of people I've worked with and so many people that I've learned from on the internet, they are possible. And I know that immediately, sometimes when you're faced with a new concept or idea, sometimes there's this sense of like, it may not work for me though. I am going to say, no matter what your industry is, it is possible. However, they don't just happen, they don't just manifest, they don't just come to fruition. You need to build a structure and a system to facilitate that. The safety at the buyer of the buyer has to be at the forefront, meaning they are never going to make a payment. This is your customer or your client. They're never going to make a payment until they feel okay about doing that. And if you want to sell through a funnel, if you want to sell via a landing page or your shop on your website or an advert, you have to build that know, like, and trust. And that often starts with the clarity of your messaging. You have to know who you are talking to and to talk to them directly and implicitly and say what they want to hear. And finally, the main thing here, and this is the main part that is often missing for people, is that not enough people are looking at your shop. So if you imagine yourself on a high street, if you are saying, well, nobody is buying, nobody's coming to the shop today, are you signaling people to that shop and showing them that you are there? So, what do we need to do in terms of this process? Mindset first. Always. I know that sometimes when we talk about money, we think strategy, we think numbers, we think spreadsheets, but honestly, it all starts with you. You have to be willing to believe that it is possible for you. And if you have any niggles or doubts, it is your responsibility to work through them, to see what's underneath and to truly explore them. Number two, what do your customers like to buy and how do they like to buy it? Now, so often I think that people are second guessing what people want instead of talking to actual people. And even those moments where you go, look, I'm going to do a free workshop on Zoom and I'm going to talk for 45 minutes. And then for 45 minutes, I'm going to do some free coaching. That is an amazing way to get live information around what people want. I want you to listen out for those nuances, those challenges, what people are going through, what they're craving, what they're missing, what they're hoping to achieve, what they're struggling with. All of these things will inform how you then talk to them. Do you have systems set up? You don't just want to get people onto your landing page or onto your checkout page, and then the whole thing is difficult or breakable along the process. You really have to make sure that your systems are watertight. And sometimes this means paying for the paid version. Too many people are trying to bootstrap it and do it for free and hoping that they're then going to get these amazing results. In order to help your client to feel safe in this purchasing journey, they need to make sure that there aren't going to be wobbles along the way. And so, what this means is you walking through the process, you really understanding how your own technology works and making sure that it's simple. And my mum always says, if it's too difficult to make a payment, I'm going to go elsewhere. And so, don't break that chain anywhere along the line. Number four, if you want to make everyday sales today, tomorrow, over the summer, this year, over the next 6 months, whatever it might be, your only job is to not only, well, firstly, create the product, create the service, create the thing, but then your job is to signal every day. It's over here, lads. Come on, follow me. Come and have a look. Come and have a look. You're essentially that person standing outside the front of your shop going, what are you looking for today? Can I help you? Giving it a bit of market trader energy. So many people just hope that they'll build something and then they keep it hidden and they don't show anybody. Number five, excellence and delivery. Doing what you say, know, like, and trust. I think that this has been lost slightly in COVID times, post COVID times, and in this era of authenticity. My personal opinion is that people are sharing way too much on the internet. They are talking about all the things, everything super personal, oversharing, and there is a fine line between being authentically you on the internet and protecting those professional boundaries. Ultimately, people want to buy in a trusted environment. And so, if there's any part of the process where you don't feel safe in this interaction, where you feel like you're going to pay for this stuff, and then somebody goes, oh, do you know what? I'm just really busy and overwhelmed at the moment, so I'm not going to deliver your service. You're going to move away. And I'm not saying that you have to wait for everything to be perfect before you start selling, but just be mindful of that balance of what you share. Number six, you've got to be so clear on your offer. You need to be able to say it in 2 sentences, cleanly, effectively, and directly. So many people go, well, I've got lots of things on offer. Yes, but if somebody is coming to you looking for a solution, how do you solve it? If you can't communicate it in a really streamlined way, it's going to be difficult for your ideal client or customer to be able to decipher that for themselves. Number seven, lead with your expertise. I know sometimes that makes us feel a little bit wobbly, a little bit like, I'm not really sure how this is. It might be a little bit triggering, let's say. Like, I don't want people to think I'm too full of myself. I don't want to be a show off. All of this stuff. Please lead with your expertise. I always think this whenever I meet my child's new teacher, for example. And one of our favorites was a woman called Jenny who taught my son. And she was like, she had Hindu energy mixed with a bit of club security guard, mixed with like a loving but firm mum. Like, let's keep it moving. Let's do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm going to give you a cuddle if you need it. But also, I've got you and I've got this and I'm holding this space. This is what people are looking for now. They probably have so many areas of their life where people are needing them and leaning on them. And so, if you want to be here in this professional capacity, you need to really step into your expertise. Remember, you are supporting a emotional change. It's one of these things where we talk about transformation, we talk about the solution that we are providing, but even though you may not be part of the service that is delivered, as in it might be a digital product or a PDF or a course or a mastermind or something else, you really need to bear in mind your client. Understand that this is a big deal for them, maybe, to make this move, to pay for this thing. I remember when I first started selling self-development coaching, some people were like, I've never spent this amount of money on myself before. I never knew that I needed this thing, but I absolutely do. I was always really sensitive and really welcomed all of those feelings about showing up for yourself. Be discerning about how much you are chatting. Sometimes people just want the thing. They don't want to go round and round in circles. They don't want, I always think this when I see groups of people like trying to decide on a route when they're sitting in a car park and there's so many voices, so many things, and you just need one person to go, here's the way. This is the next thing that we need to do. They do that on The Apprentice, don't they? You know, they're all kind of trying to come up with a plan, but it's like get moving and race across the world. You have to sometimes take the first step and figure it out as you go. Finally, get to the point. There is no point sharing 12, 16, 24 videos and a million testimonials if it's not obvious how people can go ahead and purchase now. So some people will absolutely read everything and scroll all the way down to the bottom, but some people will read 3 paragraphs and go, yeah, I'm in. This is exactly what I need. So make sure you're getting to the point and really serving these people. So over to you. I want you to think about what you need to do in this circumstance. If you are committed to everyday sales, what is blocking and stopping you right now from making that happen? In terms of your next steps, as always, you can come over to my sessions page, nikkiraver.com/sessions. You can book a strategy session experience and just quote the phrase everyday sales when you email me and just tell me that that's what you want to create. And then I'll know exactly how to do the planning before we have a complimentary chat. Equally, if you know that you want to rework your pricing menu, you want to shake things up, I have a course called Create Your Income Pie. And there are 3 ways to join. You can access the online version, and option 2 and 3 have some one-on-one time. So if you are an independent learner, you like to work at your own pace, this one is going to be perfect for you, the online course version. But if you like to bounce ideas, have accountability, have that sense of doing the work and then showing it to somebody, option 2 or option 3 are going to be great for you. There is a 20% discount for you waiting in the form of the word magic. So add that as the promo code at checkout and yeah, go ahead. You get access to the course immediately. And then if you choose the option 2 or 3, I of course will be in touch very soon so I can onboard you and we can get going with our work together. Lots of love and I'll see you next time.